What's up, everybody? I'm Paris, and this is Keep It Social. And you're joining us for our next edition of Hot Takes. I have with me today my co-host Terrence. What's up, Terrence? How you doing?
I'm in charge and living large. How are you today, Paris?
I love it. I'm doing well, and I'm excited because we have with us, as always, our lovely friend Marisa Delato, who's a New York Post reporter and joins us from Andover, Massachusetts. Hi, Marisa. How's it going?
I'm well. How are you both?
We're both doing well. A little hot, but that's because it's Hot Takes time.
Hot take.
So, Terrence, why don't you go first?
Okay, well, my hot take is probably something I think we've all had a conversation or two about. It involves Draya Michelle in an interview that she did. So I'm going to let you watch that first, and then we're going to talk.
I predict that they had some sort of Bobby and Whitney love that, drove them down this snapped-esque type of road. And I'm here for it. I like that. I want you to like me so much you shoot me in the foot, too.
So basically what I got from this interview is that Draya Michelle is glorifying, in my eyes and a lot of people's eyes, domestic violence, right? Megan Thee Stallion was out one weekend with Tory Lanez and other people and sadly ended up getting shot twice. She then went on social media and talked about how traumatizing this was for her and how much, this really affected her emotionally and physically. And then you turn around and you have another woman basically saying, I want this guy to love me so much that he does the same, which is mind-blowing to me because these are both women of color, both Black women, right? And Black women are arguably the most violated people on earth, really, And so it was just wild to me that she even, had the gut to say that, But again, I'm not a woman. I haven't experienced domestic violence, and both of you are women. So I'm interested to see how you see the situation and if I am just, if my eyes are just a little clouded right now.
Terrence, I don't think you're off the mark at all. I've been thinking a lot myself about what more Megan needs to do to become a worthy victim. And she's the number one chart topper right now. What if this was Taylor Swift who was shot? What if this was Kanye West? What if this was someone who identified or, was a person other than a Black woman? How would they be treated? Because I feel like so much more attention and care and comfort would be given to them. And it's really disheartening to see so many people make memes, make jokes, both regular people and celebrities, kind of acting as if this was a funny situation or if Megan somehow deserved this, and she doesn't. No one does, and it's really sad.
Yeah, that's a good point you make, Marisa, about like Kanye and Taylor Swift, because I saw some tweets where people were comparing the situation with Megan and Tory Lanez to when Kanye interrupted Taylor Swift at the VMAs, and there was all this, frenzy about him doing that.
We still talk about it as if it was yesterday.
Exactly. Yes, and we kind of, liken it in this chain. We talked about him last week, and then we liken it in this chain of really bizarre things that have happened with him. But you're right, like, that's a great question. Like, what is it that Megan has to do? She was on Instagram Live crying, and she is known for being this really personable and friendly and warm person who lets people in and surrounded herself. I mean, she also lost her mother and her grandmother in this past year. And she's like, everybody's like, this is going to cause her to shut people off because she can't trust people and she can't garner the sympathy that she has deserved. So it's sad to see. And Draya, girl, get it together. That's why you lost your Savage Fenty endorsement. I'm just saying. Anyway.
Right.
Moving on, Marisa, what's your hot take?
Sure. I also have a take about women supporting women. I don't know if you guys have seen these like black and white photos that women are posting of themselves with, everyone from like Kristen Bell and Demi Lovato and Ivanka Trump have posted them with the hashtag ChallengeAccepted. Have you guys seen this in the last few days?
Yeah.
Yes, I actually was tagged in some, but now that I've seen like some question marks about what it's actually about, I don't know if I should do it. So
yeah, it's really hard to understand where this is coming from. On one end, this is the excuse of posting this right now is women supporting women, whatever, that means by posting a picture. I don't know how you would uplift another woman by doing that, whatever. It's a trend that's been used for different causes since 2016. The New York Times did this wonderful explainer on it. But at the same time that women in America are posting pictures of themselves, So are women in Turkey, but that is because they are trying to bring awareness to the insane amount of femicide happening there. And women in the US are then saying, oh, I'm posting this picture because women in Turkey are, to raise awareness because of that. But it's really hard to understand why people are doing what and how, and it's all getting messed up on the timeline.
I agree. Like from my perspective, I've been seeing a lot of my friends post or be tagged and whatnot. And I kind of see this in the same light with the black square that happened on social media. You know, everyone was posting the black square, but don't use this hashtag. And this is what you should do for instead of X, Y, and Z, right? And so I think the messages are so muddled that like people in the US, women in the US are seeing this as a way to show appreciation. And so it's like, how do we redirect the focus or really show people what the start of the message was without making them feel bad for wanting to show appreciation to another woman, you know?
Sure. And if you want to post a selfie on Instagram, I think like post a selfie. That's awesome. I don't really see like a challenge is supposed to be something that's difficult. I don't see how it's difficult to post a beautiful picture of yourself. Like, go for that if you want to do it.
It's so hard to put that black and white filter on. Oh my God.
For all my followers. But I think if you want to support the situation in Turkey, do that. If you want to uplift your friends, do that. If you want to just post a picture of yourself looking wonderful, do it. But it's all coming together in this weird slacktivism way that's a little confusing, and it makes you weary of taking part in it.
Yeah, I hear you. Well, speaking of celebrating women, my hot take is relative to that. I want to talk about the Emmy nominations that came out this week, the good and the bad. First of all, let's start with the good. Issa Rae got a nomination for Insecures, and Draya got one for Euphoria. But there were a lot of question marks because take the show Pose, for instance, which is literally one of my favorites, like Vogue all day long. But the show is about trans women of color. I see you, Terrence, on your, I see you, House of Johnson. But look, the show is about trans women of color. It features, five, I think, trans women of color who play these characters, but none of them were nominated. Billy Porter, who's a cisgendered man, and we love him. We love us some Pray Tell. The category is slay all day. But like, Billy Porter was nominated for this show about trans women of color, and it just didn't sit well with a lot of people. And Raquel Willis had tweeted this really interesting thread saying that, making that exact point, you had this show with all of this talent, but yet you chose to ignore it.
Right. I think it just highlights, the privileges within the queer community. You know what I mean? Like, I am a Black queer man, and although I have like my own obstacles in my everyday life, I also understand that I have certain licenses that my Black trans sisters and Black trans brothers simply don't have, right? And so this is just reaffirming those privileges and who's worthy or valuable in a system that only values particular experiences, right? And I think it's also disheartening just because trans people in movies and film and television traditionally have been played by actors who were cisgendered, who may not have even been queer, right? Who were usually white. And they usually depicted trans people as these deranged, crazed, really violent people, right? There was no humanity to those stories. And so when you see this show about all of these trans people and there's humanity and there's love and there's compassion and you see a human, and for those people to not be recognized, it's just disheartening. And it just shows that, maybe we shouldn't just put so much value on these award shows that don't value us,
Terrence, I get it. I really do. I think that's an excellent point. And it sucks because a show like Pose, it's letting trans people tell their own stories for the first time and have agency and be both messy and wonderful and exciting. And it's really, they're complex and deep, and they're not caricatures. And it's unfortunate when these systems that are inherently exclusive, I mean, that's what an award show is. They're choosing the best, the top, and you start to see what's valued and what's not. And like you said, maybe it's time to rethink them. I think the value of award shows and how much they mean has been going down. just as we're starting to see like this year, like barely any Latinx actors were nominated for their work. So it's really interesting, like what diversity is okay and what isn't. But I'm still gonna watch because I'm insane and I love award shows and I like and I will be watching in September. While I debate the merits of them behind the scenes, I will still be watching. But it's definitely.
There you go. Consumption with criticism. I'm here for
it.
And well, in true award show fashion, but I'm going to do it right this time. I want to give each of you an award for something that you've done really well in social last week or in the past week. So, Marisa, for you, I give you the award for the most beautiful socially distanced family photo that I've ever seen.
I want to thank all my fellow nominees. It's an honor just to be on this stage. Make sure to wear a mask, register to vote. This one goes out to all the fans.
All of the
Absolutely.
fans.
Absolutely. We could all take a page. And for Terrence, I give you the award for the best outfit that I've ever seen for a socially distanced brunch. It was gorgeous.
Thank you so much. I just want to thank my mom, just because I thank my mom for everything.
We love you, Mom.
Right. Love you, Mom. And thank you to all these stores that I shop at. Thank you for providing quality clothing at a fairly good price. Thank you.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Well, thank you both. Marisa, thanks for joining us this week, and we will look forward to seeing you next time.
Thank you so much for having me.
Absolutely. And Terrence, always thank you, of course. Well, that's it for us. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe to all our social channels, and let us know what you'd like to see on the show and what your hot take is. We'll see you next time. And until then, Marisa, Terrence, what should they do?
Keep it social.